name is Caitlin Blankenship, and this is my informative speech on veterinary techniques in aquatic animals. This is my audience and my outline. I can't see it because of the sun. Okay, so science is constantly learning new things and making new discoveries and evolving. And the veterinary field is taking these new discoveries and revolutionizing the care for aquatic animals. So today I'm going to talk about veterinary techniques and procedures for aquatic animals. I'm going to talk about anesthesia and medication, husbandry techniques, and procedures and preventative care. So MS-222 is an anesthesia commonly used for fish. It can be dissolved in water, and then the fish is placed in the water where it breathes in the anesthesia and goes to sleep. Isoflurane is used for animals with lungs. It's aerosolized, and it's commonly found in more traditional veterinary settings, but it can be used for marine mammals. And then local anesthetics are used for smaller procedures. So some common aquarium diseases are bacterial diseases, fungal diseases, parasitic diseases, and physical ailments. Bacterial diseases usually present with inflammation and are treated with anti-inflammatories as well as antibiotics. And fungal diseases typically present with gray or white fuzzy patches on the skin and are treated with antibiotics and medicated baths that contain copper. And then parasitic diseases, you can see the parasites on the skin, or you can find their eggs in excrement. And these are also treated with copper baths and antibiotics, as well as freshwater dips. And then physical ailments are caused by environmental factors such as improper salinity or improper filtration. And these can be solved by fixing the environment around them. So freshwater dips are when you take a saltwater fish and you dip it in fresh water. And this is to get the parasites off of the outer, like on the skin, because the parasites are more susceptible to the change in salinity than the fish are. So the parasites fall off, and then you put the fish back in its usual water, and it's fine. And these can also be done with like freshwater fish going into saltwater, and that's a saltwater dip. And then the medicated baths are where you mix the medication in the bath, and then you put the fish in for like a specified amount of time, and it solves whatever's wrong with the fish. So husbandry training is a new technique that's being used for mostly marine mammals, and marine mammals such as dolphins, sea lions, and otters can be taught to actually participate in their own medical care. This makes the relationship between trainers and animals one of the most important relationships in animal health care, because the trainers are with them day to day and they know what their behavior is and their normal routine. And so whenever the routine is off or they're acting differently, they can contact vets and the vets can figure out what's going on with them. So operant conditioning is when an animal learns that a behavior is followed by a consequence. These consequences can be either negative or positive, and they found that one of the most, the best type of consequence is called positive reinforcement, and it's when a behavior is followed by a positive consequence, such as food or toys or physical contact like petting. And then desensitization is a key technique in veterinary care, and it involves, so during the training sessions, they will expose the animals to needles or antiseptic like alcohol, veterinary staff, and equipment. And so the animals they smell the antiseptic and they know what that is, and then they know the different medical staff, so they're comfortable around those people. And then they are poked with capped needles, and they get touched with the ultrasound. So they're familiar with these things, and then whenever the actual procedure, the exam is happening, they're not stressed out. And this greatly improves animal welfare because it lowers the stress on the animal, it protects the vets at the same time, and And during training, all of this new stuff that they're having the animal do is good for physical exercise and mental stimulation. And then they couldn't do all of this stuff without procedure tanks or med pools. And procedure tank is commonly used for fish. It's a small aquarium that they fill with medicated water, and then it has support for the fish while it's asleep, and a pump that pushes oxygenated water and the medicine through the gills, so the fish stays oxygenated and it stays asleep. And then the fish is then moved to the regular water where it wakes up and recovers. And the med pools are a smaller pool connected to the living where the animals live, and it's used for sharks and large marine mammals. And so the animal is directed into the pool, and the bottom of the pool raises and the water drains to where vets and other staff can enter the pool and perform procedures and exams without ever removing the animal from the water. So some marine mammal procedures are blood draws and medication injections, as well as endoscopic exams where they put a small camera down the throat so they can see like the stomach and the intestines. Through this they can also put fluids and food into the stomach and collect samples such as like urine samples and gas from the intestines just to see what's going on in the animal. And then a common fish procedure is tumor removal, because a lot of different fish will acquire tumors that are non-malignant and need to be removed because they impede eating or movement. And so this can either be done with a local anesthetic or a procedure tank if it's more invasive. And then quarantine is one of the main preventative care measures that you see at larger marine parks and aquariums. It is where when an animal presents with an illness, they remove the animal from the larger population and put them by themselves so they don't infect the larger population. And then they also have more time to heal, and they typically heal faster and they heal more fully. And then they also use quarantine when an animal is first entering the collection. They will keep them in quarantine for a set amount of days and perform tests to make sure that they aren't introducing any infections or diseases into the larger population. So today I've told you about veterinary techniques and procedures for aquatic animals, and I've gone over anesthesia and medications, husbandry training, and procedures and preventative care. And now that you know more about healthcare provided to aquatic parks and aquariums that you visit, you can be more engaged and educated about what you're seeing, and then you're also aware of possible care that is available to your aquatic pets. And then some of the sources I used was the Veterinary Clinic's Exotic Animal Practice and the Journal of Exotic Pet Medicine. Thank you.